am so excited and honored to be able to introduce our special guest tonight. She is so much fun. Sarah is the CEO of ENVE Composites. They're a leader in the design and manufacture of state-of-the-art carbon fiber bicycle parts, components. You know, is that a totally different world? Prior to that position, Sarah spent 15 years in sales, marketing, and operational roles. She held various positions at Fortune 500 companies, including a team leader position for Pfizer for the product, a billion-dollar product of Zyrtec, which I'm very thankful she was on. That's been a big lifesaver for me. And Pfizer is one of the largest biopharmaceutical companies in the world. Sarah joined ENVE in 2010. Her passion for innovation and quality, coupled with her drive and leadership, have significantly improved the overall growth and performance of this company. She's actually brought it back from near death. Due to this success, she was named Utah CEO in 2014. Sarah holds an MBA from Harvard Business School. She's a native of Wisconsin, and she enjoys hiking, biking with her 3 kids and her husband. Now, before I bring Sarah up on stage, I want to remind you, you've got to ask questions often and early. Remember to tweet them at USU Clark Center using the hashtag MTG3550, because we will do those questions at the end. So let's give Sarah a warm Utah State welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm not jumping off of a helicopter, but I should have ridden my bike in. I did try to ride my bike from Ogden to Logan last summer, and I made it about halfway through the pass. So I thought that was fairly impressive. I am so excited to be here. I cannot tell you how much I love talking about ENVE. So to start my talk, I want to show you a brief video because I think it's important that you understand the DNA of my company as we talk about product and our history. And so with that, we're going to do a quick video.
So it's a box about 40 inches high and 4 feet long and 20 inches wide, and you basically put the rim in it, air it up, and let it blow up so it'd contain it. Well, we were in my office when we did the first one. We wanted to try it out, and there wasn't enough. It didn't allow enough air to escape the chamber, so when it blew up, it also blew the chamber up. And we were in an enclosed office, and the whole building heard it go boom.
I think we want to be big enough to do the things we love.
And I think we're filling a need that we have. We like the best stuff that we can possibly ride.
I'm sure it would drive certain industries crazy. You know what I mean? It's not like we don't work, but yet again, it's everyone's passion. So, a couple guys were at the cross races, a couple people traveled and was doing an enduro race or a cross country or an Xterra or Ironman,
I made every single piece on this bike, and then Nick put it together and put the paint on it.
Everybody here is passionate about what we do. I like riding my bike more than I like engineering. Still an engineer. I could work on my skills.
Basically, I get a design and test and develop what I think is the coolest thing that I can put on my bike and ride. It's kind of like the products I want is what I'm working on.
None of us were sleeping. We just couldn't get comfortable with taking this technology and just transporting it offshores. And so we came to this room and we're like, we just can't do it. We've got to stay in the United States. And I think it was our best decision.
The carbon wheels that we make here are incredible. They're life-changing.
They're life-changing?
Life-changing. That's a huge claim.
You go out on the trail, and before ENVE, you're riding some product that you're like, man, if only this product could do this, or this better. ENVE is born out of that situation.
It's very much an artisan process to lay out the carbon fiber in these molds. It's hand-laid in there, hand-laid in the tool, so it may have a different look than the next rim.
Can't come in here.
Awesome.
do it by hand just because by having to put their hands on the wheel and checking each spoke tension, you know how it builds. You're not just having a robot pump out wheels all day.
The wheel is mounted into this, so what they're looking for on the test is that you don't have any exposed sharp edges.
Broken, but it passes.
Blowing stuff up is very fun, and we get a lot of data from it.
If we go up 2 more, it's a really hard pothole hit. It's enough to make you stop and get off and inspect your wheel. Most of our products go about 3 times that height.
And we go out and we ride a bunch of different rims. You know, they may all look the same, but they all ride differently, and we are focused on maintaining that relationship.
I can say this because none of these guys can hear me right now. One of them rides smoother, just a lot more poppy and fun, but no less stiff. So that's a good thing. More fun to ride is always a good thing.
And we'll meet back here after a pretty fun downhill. We'll switch product between bikes, take some notes, and go out and do it again.
My name is Joe Stanish. I'm the Vice President of Operations.
I'm Jake Pantone, marketing and sponsorship.
Carl Turner from ENVE Composites.
This is Brent Pontius.
Casey Swenson, test technician.
Envy is a belief. It's an uncompromising belief that we can do it.
Conceived, designed, built in this building. It goes way beyond just us 3 that love this thing. Everybody that works here has a strong desire to make the best product and one that they want on their bike.
There's no better feeling than when you come up with something that's going to do something better than anything has before.
We want to make the best stuff we can make. That never left from day 1 till now.
So let's talk about Envy. We're going to talk about product development, but before we get there, I would like to share with you our story. So we were founded in 2007. We manufacture high-end carbon fiber bicycle wheels and components, and we manufacture 100% of our carbon wheels in Ogden, Utah. We are known for making the lightest, stiffest, strongest, and most durable carbon wheels on the planet. And the reason that we're able to accomplish that, respectable position in the market is because of our technology and our manufacturing process. And we're going to get into that in just a moment. We cover product line from mountain bike riding to triathlon to cross racing, wheels, components, forks, stems. We cover all carbon product for the cycling industry. And we've had some great consumer buzz, right? We have won Product of the Year awards. We have a 41 million view video with Danny McGaskill. I mean, who has 41 million view for a $30 million company? It's just amazing. And compared to all of our competitors, so this is just other carbon wheel manufacturers, we exceed them in terms of consumer demand. So we have a lot of momentum. We've partnered with the greatest athletes in the world, Cannondale Factory Racing Team, Santa Cruz, if anyone is familiar with mountain biking, is one of the best downhill race teams in the world. And now we have our first Pro Tour team. It's called Team Dimension Data, and it's our 2nd year. And it's been a lifelong dream of mine, well, I should say a lifelong dream while I worked at ENVE, to be with a Pro Tour team. We partner with the best frame builders, frame manufacturers in the world. Santa Cruz, Cannondale, Cervelo choose to put our wheels on their product and sell it as a built bike. And we proudly make it in America. And so because of these things, we have had a fantastic history of just amazing consumer response to our product line. We have a number of rewards, our tour team, in a very short time frame. It's a true Cinderella story. But let me tell you, it wasn't always like this. When I came on board, this is what my company looked like. Red, negative, bad. Green, good, right? So what does this tell you? This tells you two things. We had consumers that wanted our product, right? That's awesome. And we had a lot of them. I mean, we were $4.3 million in 2010. That's a decent amount of demand, and it was worldwide. We had worldwide consumers paying for our product, right? Paid money for our product. But we were losing money hand over fist. We were on the verge of bankruptcy. The partners that had invested in the business were out of money, right? Out of money. The recession hit, and my husband called me one day, and I knew we had invested in the company, right? We invested in the company. Prior to me joining the company as CEO, we had taken a down payment on a house because we were going to move from Ogden to Park City. And my husband said, let's go on a hike. All major decisions in the Lehman family are done on a hike. So I was like, oh, big decision. And he said, Sarah, the business needs us to take our down payment of $400 or whatever we had saved at the time and invest it into ENVE. And I said, absolutely. If that's what we got to do, then that's what we got to do. Fast forward a few months later, they had tried to hire a CEO who was all set to come on board. And he was a lawyer who was a passionate cyclist. And so they're like, great, passionate cyclist, lawyer, good CEO. Within 24 hours of him coming to work at the business, he had to quit. Not for reasons, not because he saw the financials, but because of some other personal reasons. And so I knew what was at stake when my husband called me and said, Sarah, Dave quit, we need a CEO. And I said, okay, tell the team I will be there at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. You got yourself a CEO. Let me tell you, I had no idea what I was doing. I had never been a CEO before. I had been a team director, kind of different, but never been a CEO. I was just coming off of maternity leave. I had a 3-year-old that I was just coming off ramp, getting back in the workforce. I didn't even have a computer. And my husband calls me and says, you got to come and save my business. And I said, fine, I'm coming for 90 days. Just 90 days. I'll be there. I'll see what you got to do, and I'll help you figure out, who you need to hire. Well, those 90 days turned into 6.5 years. And they've been the greatest years of my life. I absolutely found my dream job at ENVE, and it came serendipitously, but I think because I was open to the universe, it happened to me. So what did we do, right? You come in day one, and this is what it looks like. We did 4 things. I mean, we did a lot of things, but these are the 4 things that I can really point to. We created a culture of accountability, we improved our quality, we managed our cash, and we hired the right people. So created a culture of accountability. Again, I didn't even have a computer when I came in day one. I mean, I got the call Friday, Monday morning I show up. All I had was a trusty notebook. So this literally is a picture of the notebooks that I kept while I worked at ENVE for the first 2 years. I showed up with a notebook and I'm like, okay, what's everybody do? Okay, what are you working on? And all I did was start to track people's timelines. They said, oh yeah, I'm working on this, I'll have it to you next Tuesday. So I wrote it down. Brandy, next Tuesday, check in. Literally next Tuesday I'd go back, I'd say, hey Brandy, how's that thing working? Oh, well, it's gonna be done next week. So I'd go back the next week. And Sue, you do that 2 times, people really know that you mean what you say. Culture of accountability. And that still stays at ENVE. In fact, I bought everybody in the company a notebook. I said, do not show up and not write this shit down. Like, do not tell me you're gonna do something and not write it down. No one has a memory like that. So I actually sent a lot of people out of the office and meetings when they didn't show up with the notebook. So culture of accountability just started with holding people accountable for what they said they were gonna do. I didn't decide what they were gonna do. They told me. I just held them accountable. We also improved our quality. So we had consumer demand, but we would ship it and it would come back. It would break quite a bit. And so we managed to get a grant through one of the great Utah State grant programs and build ourselves a test fixture which allowed us to fix our quality program. It was the single focus for the engineering team. They were not allowed to make any new product until we fixed the current stuff. because it was foundational for everything. And so we fixed our quality problem, and this was an expensive problem to fix. We managed cash. This slide is blank because we didn't have any cash. When they say cash is king, cash is king. Cash is what keeps the lights on. Inventory doesn't keep the lights on. Cash keeps the lights on. And so we, every single day, met, my CFO and I met every single day and said, who can we pay today and who can we not pay today? Whose call can we accept and whose call can we not? We called all of our vendors and suppliers and we said, we can't pay you, but put us on a payment plan. We'll pay you $50 this week. I mean, $50. We probably owed them $20,000. But we said, just promise, we'll pay you $50. So we managed our cash to the penny, and I think, to be honest with you, to this day, our books are better than, I put my books up against any large company's books because of how diligent we were with managing cash at the very beginning. You get a lot of great discipline when you go through a depression, right? And so I think that this has been a really foundational item for us in managing our business. And then we were vigilant about people. I think a lot of people make a mistake of going into business with friends, or they hire their brother or their cousin and all that fun stuff. My rule of thumb, do not hire someone if you are not willing to fire them. It sounds really harsh, but I firmly believe in it. You know, it's a business. People have to perform. And so you have to make hard choices. And so set yourself up to make those choices. And so sure, we had to let some people go. Right? We had turnover. We had to make some hard choices. But then for 2 years straight, I interviewed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people personally to make sure that we brought on board the right people. And in some cases, it was the right expertise. In other cases, it was just the right attitude. But I didn't care. My mentality was get the right people on the bus and tell them to strap in, and we would figure it out. Along the way, we made some massive bets. We changed our name, we expanded our business, and we decided to stay in America. So I don't know how many of you know this, but ENVE is our second name. Our first name was Edge. So in 2010, I came on board. So not only are we losing money, but we get a cease and desist letter that says you are no longer allowed to sell product in Europe because somebody else owned the name. I don't know. We didn't know. To trademark your name, we trademarked it in the States. Oh, I guess you got to do that everywhere you want to sell your business. So just a rookie mistake, but a very costly one. We tried to buy the name. They said, we'll sell it to you, we'll license it to you for $1 million. We're like, okay, if we had $1 million, maybe that would be an option. So we set out to change our name, and we changed our name to ENVE, and it was a stroke of genius that we came up with the name ENVE because I think it's a far better name for our company. And it was actually my husband who picked it, but we locked ourselves in a room and said, we are not leaving this room until we pick out a name. I don't care what it is, but we got to have a name today because we have to change it in the next 6 weeks before the major trade show. And so ENVE was born. The other thing we did, and this is, for me, a constant challenge in managing a growing business, is knowing when to invest ahead of growth. Right? It's a very difficult challenge to pace the investment such that it's not too far ahead of the growth, but it's also not too late to support the growth. This was our old facility. You can see, certainly not conducive to making the greatest wheels on the planet. This was the clean room. This was where we were supposed to be taking high-tech carbon fiber, placing it into a perfectly clean tool, and making a quality product. This is a tent inside of a garage, right? This is what we were operating. So we made the bet because we knew that we could not achieve what we needed to achieve in the current facility. So this was probably the scariest thing. We said, we're going to go from our $5,000 rent to a $30,000 a month rent without the demand. We didn't have the demand, but we knew we couldn't get the demand if we didn't move to the space. So we moved to a new space. We built ourselves a proper clean room, and we moved into the new facility, which we've now expanded, and I'll tell you about our further expansion. The way we make our product is the secret sauce. It's not the shape of the product or the color of the product, it's the process. And so if you take that to anywhere, I mean, I'm not picking on Asia, but you take that outside of your own roof, you don't own it anymore. It's everybody's process. And so we literally were not sleeping for weeks, and we came to this room and said, we would rather bet against ourselves and fail than take this product to Asia. And this was the single best decision we've ever made. And I'll get to how it's helped us evolve our product. So this is our rim production. I failed to mention that for the first 3 years, for every 2 wheels that we made, we threw away 1 because it had some cosmetic or structural defect. So we had a massive scrap issue and a quality issue. So we had a very rapid growth. And I'm proud to say that this is now ENVE today. Thanks. It's a true Cinderella story, and it's just a testament to the determination of the team at ENVE. And I will say that I'm also equally proud to say that literally, I think it's 2 weeks. Is today Wednesday? 2 weeks ago, yesterday, we closed on the deal to sell ENVE to Amer Sports Group, which is the owner of all these other brands. So Wilson and Solomon, Arc'teryx. So now we're part of a bigger portfolio of brands. And for me, it's very exciting because it now has the scalability that ENVE needs to grow, right? We could grow organically, but now we have the legs and the capital to do what we want to do. So what's next? So let's get into some technology. Our challenge at ENVE is we not only have to innovate at the highest level, but then we have to make it, right? We have to innovate from a design perspective and an engineering perspective, but then we also have to figure out how to manufacture it and sell it and brand it and service it. And so what's next for us is innovation, world-class manufacturing, and building the best team. So our philosophy is pretty simple. We are a function-first company. If it doesn't serve a functional need, do not do it. And that's actually a philosophy that drives through the whole company. So, don't put some crazy, beautiful mural on the wall if it's just ornate. Like, is there a purpose to it? Can you hang a bike on it? Okay, then we can do it. So it's a function first. So we're no frills kind of company. And I think actually that's the hardest thing as an engineer is to do something so simple that turns out to be so beautiful. We're no compromises, Me Too, no Me Too products. We engineer for racing, premium products but value. And we do not say that US made is the reason you should buy us. We say if we're not using US made to do it faster and better, shame on us. In the very beginning, our mandate for innovation, and it still is this today, this is the foundational mandate for us. I firmly believe in fail fast, fail cheap. I think entrepreneurs or people in general oftentimes think that it has to be fully baked before you present it to the marketplace. I do not think that's the case, especially when you're starting out. Get something to market, get feedback, iterate, get something to market, feedback, iterate. To have something fully baked and to take years and years and years to get something and to finally get feedback to me is way too long. So we constantly are asking ourselves, how can we try this, test it, and do it as quickly as possible for as cheap as we can? We always say less is more. Less is more. Is it good enough? I mean, that's, if you're an engineering company like I joined, we were all engineers, except for me, less is more is sometimes a hard concept, but at some point you have to ship the product. What I did, right? I'm not a cyclist and I'm not an engineer. So I've learned everything that I know about technology and engineering and cycling on the job. So in the very beginning, what did I have to do? I had to hire people that I completely trusted their ability to do their job. So through my interviews, I figured out one engineer that if I said, do this, whatever you need, I will support you, make the product you want to ride, and that's the product we're going to sell. And so that's what I did, because I figured that if I didn't know what I was looking for, I had to have someone who knew what they were looking for. So I hired, and to this day, every one of our engineers is a cyclist, like a real cyclist, not like me, right? A real cyclist, someone that really understands the nuances of the product, because then they can incorporate that into the product that they're making. And then partner when necessary. So one of the things that we're not good at is we don't know how to make wheels aero. And in the world of bicycling and biking, you need to have an aero story. You need to be fast. Remember, I didn't say in the very beginning that we're known for being the fastest. So we went out and found the best partner, and we partnered with him. And we structured a deal to give him a royalty and minimum payments and all these things so that he was motivated and incented to work with us as an aero partner. Now, mind you, this is just an aside, we couldn't pay him the first payment. That was part of the contract. And we were forced to give him some equity. It was very painful at the time because it's turned out to be very expensive equity to give away, but it's what we had to do, and it's turned out to be the best partnership we've ever had, and he's been on board since 2009. Now, as we've grown, right, I'm talking now, it's 2014, we're now a successful company, we're starting to be profitable and making money, we're growing. Focus got a little lost. I'll be totally honest with you. We botched a product launch in 2014 that I still think I have scars over. We didn't get focused. Our resources got stretched. And so what did we do with this? Again, we reconfigured who we were. And so it was at that moment in time that we said, everything we do needs to be around designing product quickly, cheaply, and under one roof. And so we scheduled something called Team T-Bird. I mean, it's whatever. Team Thunderbird, whatever. It was my genius, silly idea. The Thunderbirds, they fly, and they're all in sync, and, then they come back and have an after-action review to discuss what went wrong and what went well, right? Whatever. We call it the T-Bird now. So anyway, so we meet on a weekly basis 3 times a week. And for 2 years straight, I never missed a meeting. If I had to call in from Europe or China, I called in because we needed to get manufacturing and engineering working more closely together. We have constant reprioritization and debate, and we co-located everyone. Every person who has anything to do with designing, making, testing their product is all co-located so that they could be constantly discussing things with each other. We expanded our in-house test capabilities. So in the past, we've had to send things out, use different labs. We said, no, if we're going to be fast and we're going to be the leaders in cross-train them all so that they can be fillers wherever we need them to do whatever we need. If they need to make a wheel, lay up a wheel in the tech lab, that's fine. If they need to run the test, they can do it. If they need to enter data, they can. So we did a whole cross-training to make sure that this was not a bottleneck. We further separated or set up a separate R&D lab. So in the past, we've tried to do R&D and run it through manufacturing. We said no more. A whole section of the building is dedicated to offline R&D, but not just like creative, let's draw what this wheel looks like. This is a fully functioning R&D facility such that it has all the machines they need, all the materials they need, all the technicians, all the testing. They could conceive and make a wheel without me ever seeing it if I didn't walk into the R&D lab. That's how separated this is. And in fact, I challenge the engineers to make a product that I don't know about it and just bring it to me. That's another thing that I try to do to foster innovation is like, hey, we have a product plan, we have to meet that, but if you got an idea, just go make it. No permission needed. The other thing that we needed to do is, you have this customer service team, and then you've got the warranty team, and you've got all of the inline sampling, which could be, in some ways, kept separately. But you need it to inform your product development. And so our customer service team, the people that are on the phone talking to consumers, they are what I call the canaries in the coal mine. They usually hear it first if there's an issue. And so the sooner I can get that consumer connected with my engineering team, we can make changes and we can iterate. The same goes for new products, right? The sooner the consumers start asking for things, the quicker we can respond. So this is the degree in which those changes have helped us. So in 2011, we had 4 new product launches. 2012, 4. 2013, we had 2. 2014, I don't even have the numbers there. It's 17 and 27. So this is 17 and 27 full wheel line launches coming out of our R&D facility. Again, R&D, manufacturing, testing, all located in the same place. We can iterate faster than anyone on the planet. And above all else, we have been willing to disrupt ourselves. So we have a goal to leapfrog our own technology. So I'll give you an example. We think our mountain wheel line has at least 3 years on it in the marketplace. But we know at around 2 to 3 years, someone's going to be coming out with something that's going to challenge us. So we have set ourselves a goal to not wait to the 3rd year, but rather between the 2nd and the 3rd year, we introduce something that sets the new standard. Now, what our challenge is going to be going forward is to make sure that we're looking at new materials, right? So what is the thing that's going to disrupt the carbon wheel market? I mean, maybe it's a new material maybe it's silk, whatever, spider silk that we're not aware of. Maybe it's 3D printing that we're not aware of. So we have a group that's dedicated solely for looking forward down in the future. To support this level of innovation, we've had to expand again. And so we're building a new facility in Ogden. It's designed for manufacturing and research. And then, of course, it's going to house all the sales and marketing team as well. So we just broke ground, raised the walls just a week ago. Woo, woo. And the last thing, product development, expansion, all that stuff, it doesn't matter if you don't have the right team, right? At the end of the day, it really comes back all down to people. And we are absolutely rock stars when it comes to hiring good people. You can't have this level of success it's not a one-man band, right? I get a lot of the credit, but there's no way I deserve 99.9% of it. We've got this whole team that is as passionate about what we do. And again, we go out, we look for the best, we're rigorous. I was telling the people at dinner, we have a road trip rule. In terms, you ask yourself at the end of the interview, would I be willing to take a road trip with this person? And that's usually, a telltale sign as to if the answer is yes or no. So for us, our future relies on our ability to continue to innovate and to manufacture here in the United States. And so it's entirely dependent upon the people that we bring in. So with that, can I open it up for questions? I think that's the right time, right?
Probably a little ahead of schedule. Do you want to just tell everyone, that piece of advice that you wish someone had given you while you were in college? What would it be, being where you're at now?
Well, there's a lot of advice I wish I had gotten or listened to. I will tell you, I was very insecure in the beginning about when I was in college. And then when I went to business school, and then the first few years out of business school about being a woman. I just thought that for some reason, I wasn't going to be taken seriously, and I was not going to be, viewed as very smart. And so I always dressed in pinstripe suits. And I even wore glasses one day to a meeting. I don't even have to wear glasses. I have 20/20 vision. I mean, this is a real insecurity of mine. And so I was really insecure. And so I wore glasses, pinstripe suits. And I had a colleague of mine, and it was a male, and he looked at me and he said, Sarah, at some point you're going to decide, are you a woman or are you a man? And it was a really great question. And, and so it wasn't until I started working at ENVE where I fully embraced the fact that, hey, I'm a woman. So I don't try to pretend to be a man. I don't try to pretend to be a cyclist. I don't try to pretend to be an engineer. And so I think the advice that I wish I would have gotten was, just who you are is perfectly fine. Because each one of us brings our own individual perspective and assets to the deal. And so embrace them, right? And just go with it. So that would be the advice I wish I'd had.
Thank you. So our next question is from Joe Canfield. It's, how do you continue to push high quality products and not try to appeal to other customers at a lower price?
Well, that's a really good question, and one that we debate quite a bit, right? So ENVE, so just so you know, we sell $3,000 wheel sets. That's right? It's a lot of money. So we have always had the question of whether or not we want to go downstream and do we want to do lower cost. And every single time we have this dialogue, we decide, no, that's not what we want to do. Who we are is at this premium level product. It's a luxury item. It's a passion-based good. If you can afford it, great. If you can't, no problem. And where we've decided to play is just continue to chip off different places on the bike that we can play. So wheels, components, various different items. So it's just been a deliberate decision for us. Okay.
Thank you. So our next question is from Tristan. It's, does ENVE Composites use diamond cutting tools to cut your product? If that's something you're allowed to talk about.
If I knew the answer, I could talk about it. I'm sorry, I do not know the answer.
Okay, so our next one is, what was it like working with your husband, since he was the one who brought you into the position?
That's a great question. So I met my husband at business school. So, we both are business-minded individuals in general. We're very good complementary skill set. He's a finance guy. I'm an operations person. So in the very beginning, it actually worked really well. I think over time it got a little bit more challenging because our life was just all consumed by ENVE, especially when we were trying to sell the business. All we ever talked about was ENVE, and the stresses were just quite significant for both of us. But in general, I would say working with my husband has been a really great gift. But I think that's an unusual partnership.
All right, thank you. That's good to know that, things work out and you can...
It can work.
Yeah. Our next question is from Jordan Bindrup. It's, have you ever looked into the dirt bike industry?
So Jordan, yes, one of my partners is a dirt biker, and so he is secretly doing things that I'm unaware of. So one day we may actually have a product for the dirt bike industry. I'm not aware of what it is, but he does it on the sly in the R&D lab. So you might know before me.
Awesome. That is the end of our question and answer session. So we'll have LJ come back up here really quick. We just want to give you, do you have...
I just want to say thank you very much. I hope you all pursue your dreams and your passions and you get everything that you're looking for, and I really appreciate the chance to talk to you.